We lose 100 lives per year, and many more are injured because of cave-ins. All of them could have been prevented. With the shields and shoring systems available today, there's no reason for any worker to enter an unprotected trench. This program is another in the safety series, presented by the Chicago Area Laborers Training and Education Fund, the National Utility Contractors Association, and the Underground Contractors Association. I urge you to pay attention. The alternative is being buried alive.
Of the more than 250 construction workers injured on the job every day, 12% are hurt their first day of work, 55% during their first month, and 40% of them have had no safety training. Unfortunately, underground work accounts for a large percentage of this toll. Your employer can provide protective equipment, but the only way to make sure we reduce on-the-job injuries and fatalities is for you to constantly be aware of the hazards and follow these safety rules. Rule number 1 states the 3 methods of protection for trench work. Soil, weather, vibration, and other job site conditions will determine the proper method to use. But whatever the method, it must be done right. This program will deal with trench shoring systems, designed to protect employees by supporting the trench walls. The 3 most common types of trench shoring in use today are trench jacks, both hydraulic and screw type, hydraulic whalers, and wooden support systems. Here's an example of a job site condition that requires protection for a shallow trench. Although less than 5 feet deep, this trench is shored because street traffic vibration could trigger a collapse, crushing the workers.
Okay, before we go back to work, guys, we're going to take 5 for safety. We're going to talk about shoring and shoring systems. Obviously,
you should know and understand all proper procedures for the shoring system used on your job. Toolbox safety talks are an excellent way to do this.
Obviously, if you put a shoring system in wrong, or if you don't put it in with the proper procedures, you're going to get somebody hurt. So we need to make sure that we have the proper tools. You need to make sure you've got the proper numbers of shores on the site, that your shoring fluid's readily available, your pump bucket's working. Those of you who are going to be doing the wood shoring systems, I want to make sure you've got plenty of hammers, cleats. I need to make sure that you've got your wedges cut. Don't start in on that wood shoring unless you've got it all ready and ready to put in.
No matter which shoring system is to be used, always install from the top down. No system will protect you if it's not installed properly.
Some of you are going to be using the collapsible aluminum shoring. With the aluminum shoring, there are some places on here where you can get your fingers hurt. Basically, they are where the pinch points are. The pinch points are at the end of each cylinder. When they fold up like that, you can get a major hand injury if you're not careful. Never get your fingers any further in than this rail, so when you're lifting them, lift them with the thumb up against that, or from here with the fingers up against, like that.
When entering or leaving an excavation, use only the safe means provided: a ladder, backfill ramp, or other approved means of entrance and exit. To protect trench workers, the spoil pile, as well as tools and materials, must be kept a safe distance from the edge of the excavation. 2 feet is the minimum distance. This provides a clear working area. Any closer and large rocks and clods of dirt could roll back into the trench. Always be aware of the constant danger of collapse. Work within the protection of that shoring system. One step outside that protection, and you're gambling with your life. Shoring systems must be inspected by a competent person every working day because trench conditions can change rapidly. Water, vibration, broken components, just exposing the soil to air can create a loosening or shifting of the protective system. So make sure that shoring is doing its job before you do yours. Don't ever use any shoring system for any purpose other than trench wall support. Using braces, stringers, and other components for getting into or out of a trench simply invites injury. and could weaken the system.
Hey, get off the shoring. You know better than that. Use the ladder to get out of the ditch.
Misuse compromises your safety and the system designed to protect you. Don't do it.
Guys, also we want to remember, for those of you who are going to take the shoring systems out, those of you involved in the removal process, be careful when you're removing it. If there's any ground movement, you are to get away from that trench line. Remove it slowly. The removal starts at the bottom and continues to the top. Always start at the bottom of the trench. Reverse of the installation procedure. Remember that.
Always remove any shoring system from a safe place and backfill the trench as that removal proceeds. Before storing or reusing at another job site, shoring systems must be cleaned, serviced, and inspected by a competent person. Any damage must be repaired before being installed again. Never take chances with defective equipment because your life depends on it. Trench work is one of the most dangerous jobs in the construction industry, and yet statistics prove that most of the accidents are preventable. Lost time, injury, fatality. Don't you become a statistic. Know your job and equipment. Don't take chances. Think safety at all times. Now let's review the 10 rules for trench shoring. Rule number 1. Trenches 5 feet or deeper must be sloped, shielded, or shored. 2. Prepare thoroughly for installation. Rule number 3. Install the shoring system from the top down. 4. Always use a safe means of entrance and exit. Rule 5. Keep the spoil pile 2 feet from the edge of the trench. 6. Stay inside the shoring system. 7. Inspect the shoring system daily. 8. Use shoring properly. Rule 9. Remove the shoring from the bottom up. And number 10, inspect the shoring components before each use.